Hello, people of Earth. I hope everything's going well in y'all's lives. Mine has been a bit of a nightmare lately, but, you know, to be honest, whose isn't? So, what is happening today? Well, to start with, we're going to give y'all a couple of updates on some things. Start with the Porsche. Porsche. Does it run? Yes, there will be a video out on that thing very soon. It'll be getting the carburetors going again. I'm trying to stay out of these LED lights. Getting the carburetors going, getting the car running, and also we're going to swap the rear hubs over to 4 lugs. That way I can put the other wheels on it because it's currently a 5-lug Porsche pattern. So there's that. The other thing behind me is this red Miata. It is getting painted. I'm going to do some videos on it in regards to priming it and what you should do or shouldn't do when you're doing a car like this. Which, by the way, the car has been spray painted, so this job turned into a wee bit more work than it was supposed to. Another thing, my side-by-side. You guys have seen it in other videos. It is currently down and needs a computer. When is that going to get fixed? Me? I don't know. Why it is not a priority in my life. I didn't really get a whole lot of use out of it to begin with. Yes, it is an expensive paperweight right now, but, you know, it is what it is. Also, this thing above me, known as my Beetle. You guys have seen it a few times in the videos. What you guys have not seen, because I did not video it, is I lowered it with everything I had at the time. So we now have drop spindles for it, so that way I can get it sitting as low as I want up front. I'm kind of questioning whether or not I'm going to have to put shocks on it. That'll be a whole nother thing whenever I get to it. But that's what today's video. Today's video is going to be putting drop spindles on that car. So we're going to actually get this car back on the road to where I'm driving it again, actually using it, because most of the time it just sits on the side of my shop and it's just kind of a waste. So the next car that you guys are probably all very, very, very curious about is the Zart. It has been kind of a mutual debate as to what I'm going to do with it. End of the day, I've owned it for a year. I haven't put probably 100 miles on it. I'm going to let the thing go. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to tell you guys now, it does run and drive. It doesn't have rear brakes. It does run really well. It is a 225 slant 6 after all. It does have a 904 automatic transmission in it. It shifts perfectly. There's no problems there. The rear end's fine. It doesn't make any noise by some miracle. So what's going to happen with that? It's going to go up for sale. How much do I want for it? I want $1,000 for it. I understand it's kind of a rust bucket now because of what happened to it, and it's kind of a little bit worthless, but it still has a really good drivetrain in it. Granted, I know it's a slant 6, but it's a really, really good running slant 6 with a really well-behaving transmission. It doesn't slip or do anything like that. You don't have to sit there and wait for it to regain prime. It does drive really well, so it is going to go up for sale for $1,000. If you want it, by all means, either shoot me an email, southpawcustoms2020@gmail.com. There will be a link, or right here. I will also put it in the description of the video. If you guys want to get a hold of me, fantastic. The car is down in Florida, if you guys don't know. If you guys are interested in it, once again, just get a hold of me. Either that or find me on Facebook, which is either Southpaw Customs, and shoot me a message and we can talk. There's a little bit of wiggle room on the price, but not really a lot, mainly because of the drivetrain in it. So that's where we're at. I will go walk around that car and just kind of point out some stuff just so you guys know. There it is in all its glory. It is still tagged and insured. I still do drive it. A couple things on it. It is starting to rust in a lot of areas. This was not here before. It is starting to go through. When you open up the trunk now, which it does have that fuel cell in it, you can see the corners are starting to rot away. Not really surprising. The car does now have no protection on it. So down in the rocker, it's starting to rot right there. Right there. Other than that, it really hasn't changed much. You can see it's still the same car it was in every other video. It has been sitting here for a while. I don't ever use it. I drive it once in a blue moon. Like I said, it still does have the 225 slant 6 in it. It still is basically as it was. Everything works. It hasn't overheated. It runs really cold. Has plenty of oil pressure. The charging system works. There's plans to clean it up, but don't really care that much. So that's that. I think that's really all that's about changed is just in the back. If I remember correctly, all this is still solid. This door right here does not open. It does have just the gauges. It does have a universal key. So I do have a clear Florida title for it. Believe it or not, they let me insure it and tag it. So yeah, that's about it. It's pretty much as you saw it. It is street legal. It does, you know, you can take it for a test drive. It does have front brakes on it. Am I going to fix the rears? Nah, probably not. If I end up keeping the car and nobody buys it, then I'll probably just yank the drivetrain out of it and call it a day. It doesn't cost me a lot to keep the car insured and tagged, but if I'm not doing anything with it, why do I have it? So the Corolla is at home. It is doing just fine. We just ran another race with it at Barber. I did not video that race because Grassroots Motorsports actually sponsored that race. They're supposedly doing a video release on it. In case you're wondering why that's covered up, it's because it's hot out now. But Grassroots is supposed to be doing a video release on it. I'm currently waiting on that. I don't know when that's going to drop. So hopefully soon. I know I'm very eager to see it for obvious reasons. But I didn't want to do it if they were doing video on the car. So without further ado, all right, so here we go, drop spindles. I ordered these from Dune Buggy Warehouse. They are not a paid promotion or anything like that. I like to use them to order parts through. I seem to have good luck with them. That, and I had a part fail on one engine and they stood behind it, so I always go to them. So we have 2.5-inch ball joint drop spindles. I am super excited. I have also never put these on. So you're gonna have to bear with me on that because that's gonna be a learning experience. They don't look very complicated. I've asked a few people who are very, who have done them before. They said it's not difficult. Like, Brett, you're mechanically inclined enough. You'll have no problems figuring out. Famous last words. We will see how this goes. So first things first, I have to empty out my shop. This is a daily occurrence because, as you know, the Porsche, it doesn't have glass in it and the carburetors are now covered up, but I don't like to leave it sit outside. Obviously, this has to go in and out for obvious reasons. It does have a new fiberglass hood, which didn't fit 100% properly, so we're working on that. So this is going to have to go out. That's going to have to go out, and then I can lower this down and we will start on it.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Hi again. By the way, if you guys have a lift, when you have it sit for a long period of time, set it on the locks. By the way, I hate spiders. I'm gonna spray everything down with Croil, in case you're wondering. Not a paid advertisement. This stuff's amazing though, but it's not cheap. But everything I know I gotta take apart, I'm gonna spray this stuff down just so that way it hopefully comes off easier, because I used to rally this thing a lot. So there's that. This stuff smells amazing too, nonetheless. My toolbox is not organized. I know that some of you, that will not shock some of you, but it's my toolbox. I don't care. Until I get annoyed because I can't find a socket. Then I will care. Then it'll be me taking a minute to clean my toolbox. Yeah, let's see, where should we put you guys? Somewhere that there's not a bunch of crap. Okay, those of you who don't know, old school Volkswagens are lug bolts. And they don't like coming out because I've taken them out a million times. You can change them to studs, and I haven't. That's right. I have money in four-wheel disc brakes, a big motor, and all kinds of other fun stuff, and I haven't changed the lug bolts, as much as I hate them. Yep. As you can see, disc brakes, you can also see it's been sitting forever. So what's going to happen is I'm going to do one side on camera. The other side I'm going to do with a quickness, because you guys don't need to see me do the same thing twice, even though it's slightly entertaining. So, as I said, I don't know how to do this, like off the top of my head. I kind of have an idea. And if you're watching this, I'm sure there's other videos out there on doing drop spindles. I'm sure of it. I can't be the first one. But if you are watching this for this, hey, fantastic. Tie rod end will have a cotter pin in it that will fight you if it's old. Mine aren't that old, to be honest with you, because like I said, I had this apart not too long ago to do all the other stuff, because they got new tie rods, they got a quick steer kit. I wish I had a real pair of dikes that I can't seem to find. I'm sure somebody out there is going to have a better way of doing this, and you're not wrong. Wait, you're probably going to hear something rattling in the background. That's the Miata. There's nothing wrong with it. I am just trying to let the battery charge. Hey, that's where those went. Remember how I said I couldn't find my dikes? Ta-da! And these, not the other kind. So, the way I do this, you can see there's a caliper on here. See, it's also very unhappy from sitting. I will take this loose. That's just so that way I can pivot this any way I want first. And then I take the bolts out for this. And I also need to take the cap off because of taking the rotor. Okay. And also, I'm going to hit this with a hammer. Some of you are going to be like, no, don't do that. They sell tools. In case you're wondering. Yeah, I have the tool. Guess what? Ask me if I care. Now that I've said that. Wow. Guess I might have to get the tool. Let me get you out of the way so I don't break my camera. And also, if you could hold my purse. Wow. Hey, remember I said I wasn't going to use the tool? I'm going to use the tool. It's called a pickle fork. I just don't like using it because it usually tears the boots. And I did not tear the boot, but I used the tool. not the one operating that tool. Okay. Next is the caliper, and this one's fun because these are aftermarket and there's shims in it, and I'm hoping that I don't have to find them when I take this apart to put the other spindles on. If I remember correctly, I didn't actually have to shim anything, which I was very fortunate for. Now that I've said that. Also, don't do as I do. Some of you are gonna be like, you're gonna let the caliper hang. You know what, guys? I've never seen a problem with it. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So, I don't really care that much. I usually just let them dangle. Because I think 3 years or 4 years ago, I went through and put all new stuff on this car. So, yeah. Next is taking this off. Okay. Hammer. Burp. At some point I need to shut that Miata off. However, leaving that Miata running because it has old gas in it. It needs to burn off. Damn. Wow. We also get to see how bad my bearings look. Survey says, oh, they're all right. So it's going to have an Allen key here. That I have to find. Should be right there. Survey says, did I get it right? No! That's it. In case you're wondering, it is a 6mm Allen key. You're just going to loosen it and then that'll spin off. And what that does is it locks it in place. And it just rotates off. In case you're wondering, I put them on so they're spinning it, and then I'll snug it and then back it off a little bit. It's pretty basic. This is a little bit of a how-to, mainly because I have an idea of what I'm doing. Now that I've said that. So then there's your one bearing, which this grease probably, yep, it's still nice and red because I don't ever drive this car. And this should just come right off. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. The grease is blue. That's how little it got used. Like the seal's still really new, and we are reusing the rotor. So there's that. So now, I'm assuming the backing plate normally is here whenever you have your brakes. I am running the aftermarket disc brake setup, and now according to everybody I've talked to, this is either make or break me. This will still bolt up to the lower drop spindle. If not, you'll know because that'll be the end of this video. As soon as I find a rag, because I have grease on me. I guess that's a 17. I'm wrong. It's a 16. Who does that? Hey, it's not a 16. Can I actually Loctite that? Yep. Hey, I would recommend Loctating that. So I'm just hoping this all still bolts up. If not, I'm going to be rather upset. And you guys will know it. Now, we'll move you over here. So what I'm hoping is next, there's this nut and this nut. I'm hoping they just come off and I don't have to hold or do anything kind of finicky. I suppose you guys want to see, right? My beautiful face. Well, one thing's for sure. I want to make sure that didn't come loose. Okay. Next is getting the ball joint to let go, which I don't know how it's going to go. All right, the other thing is I'm going to turn the Miata off. All right, Miata's turned off. All right, so bets that I don't have to use the tool to take the ball joints loose. Well, one's off. Hey, how about that? And we have a washer that I don't know where that went. I don't know where it went. Okay. Now I'll grab a spindle. Cool. Okay. So, now we're going to go over drop spindle. It's pretty basic. Stock spindle, you can see how this is centered. Drop spindle. If you look on the back side, let me get the orientation right for both of them, because I'm a gidget. You can see that's the normal top portion, the bottom. So what it does is it changes it, in which case it goes on the car like this. I'll make it easier for you. So you can see bottoms, it's like that. So what it does is it raises the wheel and actually essentially lowers the car. Now, Britt, why are you lowering a Baja? Well, guess what, folks? I've owned this car, I don't know, 14 years? Something along those lines. It is just like the, hey, I think I know what that washer was from. It is just like the Corolla. It has seen many different shades of life. What is it about to be? It's about to be just a toy of mine that I get to drive and do whatever I want. So, that's what's about to happen. Now, I'm sure there's something I'm going to be forgetting out of all of this mess. And somebody on the other side of that camera right now is going, hey, you're an idiot, you need to do this. In which case, I'm not going to disagree with you. I just don't know yet. In which case, you get to laugh at me as long as you've made it through this part of the video. Also, if you made it through this far of the video, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe. The YouTube spiel. I get enjoyment out of doing this stuff on my cars and all that kind of stuff. But the end result is I don't make any money at this. In case you're wondering, my end result in life is I would like to make money at this. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to work on their own stuff and make money? Do I want to make a ton of money? Nah. If you guys who know who watch this and come to my shop and I do work on your cars, I don't kill you guys in labor. I do enough so that way I make money, and that's about the extent of it. After that, you know, I try my best to make sure everybody's taken care of and that I still get to make a living, because at the end of the day, if I'm not making a living, why am I doing it? Okay, so get your peepers in here. Your balls of the eyes. As you can see right here, when I go to tighten this one, I don't know if you can see it or not, the whole thing is spinning. So, what you do in that case is you get mad at your neighbor because you don't have your pole jack. I lied. Okay, so what you do in that case, edit that out. Is you turn your camera so it gets out of the way. If you're fortunate enough to have a lift and you're not making a bunch of noise, what you do is you put some pressure on the ball joint. Now that's easier said than done in a Beetle, but what I am going to do is lower the lift. So you put some pressure and it'll pin it in there, and ideally it'll stop it from spinning, like so. Come on. Oh, that was violent. That was very violent. What you can't see is this is a nylon locking nut. Yep. No. Guessing there was a piece of trash or something in it, because now it's going. Okay. Now it's tight. Now the car can be landed back on the lift. Alrighty then. So just make sure it moves. Make sure it's not bound up anywhere. This should lower my car a lot. I am also changing wheels, by the way, and hopefully tires too. So now we get to see if that bracket interferes with anything in any way, shape, or form. I don't think it will. Yeah, it doesn't. However, I did, nope, wrong bolts. It is good practice to put Loctite on these. Just FYI. I am going to, after I make sure everything is, but I'm not going to blow it all apart and show you guys doing it, but. That's it. And then we'll just go in the reverse order. Put you back on. Put you back on. Along with, on here, there's a notch. On your washer, you'll have it. Just make sure you put it back. Well, it won't go otherwise. And then just put this back on. And then it's just the reverse order. Like I said, I will, thank goodness the other wheels I have. When you put drop spindles on, there's a chance your ball joint's gonna hit. I remember that. But I don't think mine's going to because of the wheels I have. Is it a 19? No. You can use a pair of pliers on this, by the way. I'm just gonna use a wrench as soon as I find the right size. Pretty sure. Guess what size it is? It's a 24. So like I said, what I like to do is, you can see it's really hard to turn. So I will pin it, back it off a little bit, spin it, back it off a little bit more, I guess. Make sure it's not hitting anything. It doesn't appear to be. Yep, everything looks good. So you want this to spin freely. And then I like to spin it, lock it down a little bit, and then just back it off. And it spins. And then just take your Allen key, and tighten it down. Don't go ignorantly tight with this, because you will strip it. Ask me how I know. And then this won't be able to turn. And everything spins. Ideally, when you get done, you check your wheel. You should have just a tick of play, just so that when everything heats up, it's good. And then the cap. For those of you that have regular Beetles and have a speedometer that works, your cap will have a hole in it like that, and it should be ideally square, which that one's not. It'll have a speedometer cable coming through. My speedometer doesn't work, and I don't care, so I don't have it. There's that. We'll put the brake caliper back on, like so. Hopefully it won't need any shims. Knowing my luck, it will, and I won't have them. Or I'm gonna get, oh. And I hit the snag. In which case, it's probably gonna make this video come to a screeching halt. So, what is happening is, hopefully you guys can see it. Let me grab a light. Everything was going so well. If you look right there, you can see that the caliper is hitting the part where the tie rod connects. Well, that sucks. What's up, everybody? It's the following Monday. I decided to stop with this project and went on to other things because I was super frustrated. So I'm going to go over what we have done. In case you're wondering, those of you who are going to attempt to do this yourselves, it's not a direct bolt up. And per another company, if you have the empty disc brake caliper kit, which is the one I have, and there's not a drop spindle for it, allegedly. I don't know if it's true. That's what I got told by a company, and I'm not going to call them out. But so what we have done is we have taken this bracket off. We've cut it and re-welded it. We moved it up so that way it clears the spindle up here so you can get the bolt in, and down here, and then ground this down a little bit so the caliper clears it. This is not the end of it. I'm going to quickly make this look pretty and then shoot it with some black paint, bolt the caliper on, and then I've already taken the other side apart, and we haven't cut it yet, but we wanted to make sure this was going to work. So far, so good. If it all works, you won't see any more. You'll just see the finished product of this car on the ground, hopefully with the wheels touching fender, and I have to buy new tires. So that's where we're at. All right, people of Earth, as you can see, the car is on the ground. It's done. It's all back together. It's in one piece. You can see my front tires scrub the front fenders, which I kind of anticipated, so that means I ordered new tires. I won't have them for another week, but I wanted to kick this video out. It's been about a month since I've dropped one. So do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everybody you want to talk to or don't want to talk to. about the channel. Just get some more people to watch this kind of stuff so you can see more stuff like this on a regular basis. This is the car. It's done. It's going to be this way for a while. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you didn't, by all means, leave me a comment. If you did, by all means, leave me a comment. If you knew 100% that, hey, that wasn't going to work, by all means, let me know. But in the meantime, guys, take care. Life's too short. Get out and enjoy it.